state of Missouri is having some problems with vaccine distribution data.
Some of that data may be delayed.
We'll hear from a local county official about why that might be happening.
A local ministry working to change the culture around panhandling. I'm Chris Warner. We'll tell you about their effort.
The 4 states most watched news starts now.
We're seeing discrepancies in vaccine data at the federal, state, and local levels, even as the state of Missouri rolls out a new system. This is KOAM News at 10. The CDC's COVID data tracker today showed there have been 340,000 doses given in Missouri. But the Missouri tracker shows there have been 374,000. There are also discrepancies between the state and local levels. In McDonald County, the state says 737 doses have been given. The county says it's actually been more than 1,000. The director of the Newton County Health Department says it might come down to time delays.
My best guess would be that at the local level, we enter data right here, right now, and then that data has to be relayed back to the state, and then the state relays it back to the federal. Some of that data may be delayed.
Bergner suggests that residents who are curious about the data should pay the most attention to the local numbers, since those local numbers would be the most up to date. The Newton County Health Department today also received their first shipment of coronavirus vaccines. We're going to have more on that on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Missouri Governor Parson is trying to distribute more vaccines, but taking back unused doses from pharmacies. The governor's spokesperson says Parson is looking to divert 25,000 doses from CVS and Walgreens, and they plan to ask for more. Those will be used at mass vaccination sites throughout the state. Officials say the move won't keep pharmacies from finishing their work providing vaccinations at nursing homes, which have been particularly hard hit by COVID. State of Oklahoma is trying to give some meds back. The state's AG is trying to return $2 million worth of the anti-malaria drug hydroxychloroquine. Oklahoma acquired 1.2 million pills in April from California-based FFF Enterprises. Company spokeswoman did not immediately return a message seeking comment. The drug has since been shown to have little or no effect on severe cases of COVID-19. A former state health official chalked up Oklahoma's purchase to the fog of war. Checking in with Doug Heddy now for a first look at the weather. The snow that's been on the ground has been slowly disappearing through much of the day, Doug.
Yeah, it has. We got a pretty good dose last night on the Kansas and Oklahoma side, about a dusting to an inch, but on the Missouri and Arkansas side, most everyone an inch, upwards to 1.5 inches. And it kind of kept our temperatures cold today. We could only get up to 31 degrees, and we didn't see any sunshine. We still, in fact, have the clouds out there right now. I do think the clouds will start to break up a little bit later on tonight behind this storm system. And with some snow on the ground and at least some clearing, our temperatures are really going to drop off. It's cold now. We're sitting upper 20s to about 30 degrees. We have these light northerly winds kind of ushering in the cooler temperatures. But I do think by the time we get up early in the morning, if you're going to get up early in the morning, I'm not going to be up this early in the morning, but 20 degrees, 29 by 9, 41 by noon, and some sunshine for the first time this week during the afternoon hours. We're going to look at our next storm system here in just a bit.
Good reason to sleep in. Doug Heddy, thanks. Watered Gardens Ministries in Joplin is launching a campaign on ways to give better in response to panhandling. KOAM's Chris Warner has more.
A man we spoke with named Chad has been panhandling with his fiancée for nearly a year. Chad didn't want to be on camera, but he says he and his fiancée lost the house they were living in and have been panhandling since that time to make ends meet.
I had a couple 2 nights ago, or 2 days ago, pull up and they bought us both a meal and gave us some cash and bought us a suite at Homewood and gave us a bunch of quarters to do laundry.
James Whitford is the executive director of Watered Gardens Ministries. They've launched a new campaign to help panhandlers in the city.
What we've got to do is realize that as a person is standing on a corner hoping that you're going to hand money out of a window, if you do that, what are they going to do the next day? They're going to come back to the same corner and they're going to hold the sign again. And so what we've got to do is learn how to give better.
The new campaign includes television and radio ads as well as billboards educating the public on ways to more productively help. The chair of the Homeless Coalition, Robin Smith, says she thinks the initiative is a good idea, and it coincides with their street outreach the coalition does, where they hit the streets providing that information to panhandlers and the homeless. However, in the years of handing that information out, she says not everyone is interested.
They came from Kansas City or whatever, and they're heading to Texas, and they've stopped at Drop while they're going to panhandle for some money. They're not going to want those services because that's not what they're looking for. They're not looking for a meal or a bed.
Chad says after spending a year on the street corners, it's changed his perspective.
I definitely think that not if, but when we get back on our feet, I will be the first person to help somebody that I pay it forward, because we've gotten so much help from so many different people in so many different ways.
In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
The Homeless Coalition is participating in the point-in-time homeless census, which gives updated, accurate contact information on local shelters and transitional housing providers for those in need. To get more information on Watered Gardens campaign, check out the link in this story on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. The Joplin Parks and Recreation Department today met to discuss the results of a survey on their master plan. That survey was designed to get public input on the options in the master plan. The plan includes projects surrounding Ewart Pool, as well as adding lights to parks and ways to make trails safer. The city's Parks and Recreation Director tells us it was vital to get community input on this plan.
I can say all the projects that I think the city needs, but I mean, that's not why I'm here. We work for the public. So all these projects obviously are ideas and suggestions from the public.
Everything discussed tonight will be presented before the City Council and a citizen-led committee. NEO receives $15,000 to support arts programs on campus affected by the pandemic. The school will buy new gear such as cameras, projectors, and live streaming equipment. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky tells us about the impact the grant and new equipment will have on students.
Connor Rice is among many students who have had to adapt to online learning during the pandemic. Connor studies music education at NEO A&M, and shifting to online learning as an art student wasn't an easy transition.
I was in a ton of music classes, and it's hard to have any kind of music ensemble when everybody's away from each other. So it hit us pretty hard.
He says distance learning just wasn't the same.
I didn't really have classmates. It felt like I had to go through college all alone.
NEO A&M was awarded $15,000 through the Oklahoma Arts Council to support the arts on campus. The grant is part of the CARES Act. Rachel Lloyd, a grant director, says arts on campus struggle most with the online transition and believes the grant will make virtual learning more accessible and fill any gaps left by going online.
The main challenge in converting content and delivering it online has really been in the art-specific courses that are trying to transmit musical selections or even student artwork.
In most cases, students still have the option between in-person and virtual or hybrid learning, but the grant may be the key to bridge divides between students, no matter their learning preference. In Miami, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
School plans to make these purchases soon in the hopes of delivering content virtually by spring. Still ahead, mutant variants of COVID-19 might affect the accuracy of tests, and the federal government's plan to get more vaccines out into the public. Coronavirus variants showing up across the U.S. are starting to impact testing for the virus. Today, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration says it's asking medical developers to make sure tests can detect the virus even as it continues to mutate. One FDA director says the agency is staying vigilant in monitoring how the variants impact test accuracy. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says one variant, first identified in the UK, has been detected now in 26 states. Moderna says 2 doses of its vaccine should protect against known variations that have emerged. There's new research from the CDC about when it's safe for schools to reopen. Researchers say the coronavirus rarely spreads in schools where public health recommendations are followed. In an interview from CBS This Morning, CBS medical contributor Dr. David Agus calls the news a big deal, but shares a word of warning about the importance of following the recommendations.
But what was cautioned is when they did indoor sports or gathering indoors or didn't wear masks, there was significant spread. So if you do it right, we can get kids back to school.
CDC says more than 20 million Americans have now received at least their first COVID vaccine dose. As the Biden administration tries to speed up vaccinations nationwide, the virus has killed nearly 80,000 people in the U.S. in January alone, making it the deadliest month since the pandemic began about a year ago. Reporter Naomi Ruckham has more.
The COVID-19 variant first found in the UK has now been detected in at least 28 states, including Alaska. The head of the CDC says the U.S. has more than 300 cases of the strain, believed to be at least 50% more contagious. U.S. health officials are also watching mutations first detected in South Africa and one in Brazil, with a confirmed case in Minnesota.
The emergence of variants underscores the need for public health action. First, get vaccinated when it's your turn.
CBS News has learned that FEMA has approached the Defense Department, asking for up to 10,000 service members to help administer doses. FEMA is about to set up as many as 100 vaccination sites around the country. Maxine Kaplan enthusiastically waited for her shot at a Mobile, Alabama cruise ship terminal.
Everybody, please get this shot.
We sort of jumped at the opportunity.
Gina Chung and her pediatrician husband Richard enrolled their 7th grader in a Pfizer vaccine trial for 12 to 15-year-olds.
Getting to the point where transmission in the community is low enough where we're no longer technically in a pandemic, I think kids are crucial to that for sure.
While in snowy southwest Oregon, quick-thinking county healthcare workers went from car to car, offering vaccines to stranded drivers before the shots expired. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
State health officials say vaccination centers across the country are expecting their first federal shipments this week of supplies designed to help extract a 6th dose from vials of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. Doug Heddy is up next with his complete forecast. And later, the Missouri Southern track and field men will deal with some high expectations when they return this year. We caught up with them to find out how they're going to handle those expectations.
Well, of course, gloomy for us today. Temperatures, they didn't go anywhere. We had light snow last night, about a half an inch on the Kansas side, also the Oklahoma side. Our western counties didn't get hardly anything, just about a dusting. And then once you got into Missouri, most of us about an inch, even some areas about an inch and a half. So this puts us at 6 inches for the season. We've had several snows. We've had, 7 or 8, 9 snows. Just we haven't had anything bigger than an inch at a time. So they slowly kind of pile up. Average around here is 12 inches in a season. It used to be 15, 16, 17 inches. Of course, with climate change, that has been shrinking over the past couple of years. So it's harder for us to get a big snow. It doesn't mean it can't happen. It just means it's a little bit harder for us. Great time lapse, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. You can see that snow last night kind of piles up. This is outside of Seneca and then melts off a little bit throughout the day. I still have quite a bit of snow here. So the areas that do have the snowpack, your temperatures are going to drop off more for us tonight. But we really haven't gone anywhere past couple days. Mid-30s yesterday, upper 20s for us tonight, into lower 30s during the afternoons. 27 Iola, 29 Independence, Miami at 30, Carthage 28, Neosho 29, Pittsburgh 29, Nevada at 28. So everybody's cold, even Anderson in our southern counties sitting at about 29 degrees. We'll drop back near 20, but look at tomorrow. It looks better. We get some sunshine. Temperatures start to warm up just a little bit more. All right, the bands of snow rotated out of here about 8 o'clock during the morning hours. We're out of our eastern counties, but we've had the clouds all day long. They just couldn't break up. They will slowly break up a bit for us tonight, and that will allow those temperatures to drop off. Our storm system already racing up the eastern seaboard. Next guy on the left coast, out across parts of Washington, Oregon, down through California. So this system will affect us Friday night into Saturday morning. Now ahead of it, nice little ridge of high pressure. That's going to roll in tomorrow and Friday and give us a couple pretty good days. For us tonight, we drop back cold all the way down right around 20 if you are getting up early. So starting at 20, and then we slowly warm through the 20s, 30s, up to 41 by noon, and then we should top out right around 47 as we go into the afternoon hour. So at least a better day. Tomorrow night, a few clouds start to sneak in. It's going to be cold again. Temperatures near freezing. Clouds increase throughout the daytime hours on Friday, but we pop into the 50s, so that's pretty good. Friday night, rain starts to roll in after midnight. Could even have some showers and thunderstorms, very similar to what we had Sunday night. Could get some heavy amounts of rain, half an inch to an inch. Showers stick around most of the day on Saturday, and then the system will start to push out of here. And then Sunday looks pretty good. Cooling down Sunday and Monday, we're looking over at the next few weeks. We do warm up, so this is next week, the first week. We do warm up a bit on Tuesday, and then another system cooling us back down Wednesday and Thursday, giving us rain and also some snow chances late next week. 47 tomorrow, 56 on Friday, rain Saturday, cooler Sunday. But all in all, for the last few days of January, not that bad.
Yeah, some highs in the 50s. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up in sports, we're going to hear from former Webb City standout Tristan Colon Castillo on his rookie season with the Baltimore Ravens. Plus, the Missouri Southern men aim to repeat as MIAA indoor track and field champions. Details up next.
The Missouri Southern men are the favorites to repeat as MIAA indoor track and field champions. Sports reporter Danny Terzer catches up with the Lions to talk about dealing with high expectations and their plans to contend at the national level in March.
The Missouri Southern men's track and field team is no stranger to success. The Lions claimed the MIAA indoor championship last season. They'll take their first step towards a repeat this weekend.
With COVID and everything like that, just being able to compete against other teams, being able to actually race is something that we haven't done in 9 months now, and so that's probably honestly the most important thing to me now, is appreciating those small things and being able to get back into the competition and racing again.
I don't think anybody takes much for granted anymore. I think we're excited to be out there on the track. I think they're excited to compete.
Expectations are high here. The Missouri Southern men have been ranked #1 in the MIAA in the coaches' preseason poll, making them the favorite to win the league.
We expect to always be at the top of this conference. We expect to compete well. We expect to compete for championships. And that's just been something that has been a very strong tradition at Missouri Southern for a very long time.
The Lions know the rankings are just that, a number. They're hungry to earn their spot on the track.
If anything, having a #1 ranking going in is just going to push them even harder, because they know if that's the expectation of others, then maybe that's going to push them a little bit harder to work.
In Joplin, Danny Terzer, KOAM Sports.
Now, the Lions will be in action on Saturday at Pittsburg State. The Gorilla men are right behind Southern at #2 in the MIAA preseason poll. Speaking of Pittsburg State, Haven Lander, once again the MIAA Field Athlete of the Week this week. It's the second straight honor for the PSU senior. Last weekend at Washburn, Lander cleared 13 feet, 7.75 inches in the pole vault, which is a school record and the #1 mark in all of Division II so far this season. A former Webb City lineman Tristan Colon Castillo just finished up his rookie season with the Baltimore Ravens. The former Cardinal made 2 starts at center this year for Baltimore. His first start came against the Steelers in Week 12 and came on short notice after COVID-19 got the guys ahead of him on the depth chart.
I had missed a phone call from Coach Harbaugh, and he was like, and so he was like, call me back when you get a chance. So I was like, oh no, like I missed the head man's phone call. I'm in trouble now. So, I was jokingly, but then I called him. He was like, hey, I don't know if you've talked to Coach D yet or anything, but Matt tested positive for COVID. You're going to be starting at center. So I went from, I was backing up to playing the short yardage. Said, nah, forget that stuff. You're the guy now. Like, you need to get your mind right. You need to get ready to go. And it was crazy. I was at the same time I was super excited.
You can check out our full interview with Tristan on the sports page at KOAMnewsnow.com. A big one tonight for the Webb City boys basketball team in Nixa. Webb City ranked 6th in Class 5. Nixa is 6th in Class 6. Tonight's the Eagles getting by the Cardinals 77-56. Alex Martin leads the way with 11 points for Webb City. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor two local veterans, Charles and Leela Madison. The Lamar, Missouri natives served in the U.S. Army. And we are proud to salute Charles and Leela Madison, tonight's four-state heroes. Gamers are being offered a thin slice of heaven from 7-Eleven. The 7-Eleven Game All Night experience offers a private stay at a new luxury store in Texas before it debuts to the public. The gamers who book for the all-night deal through Airbnb will have access to the PlayStation 5 hooked up to a large screen TV with dual sense controllers. And of course, the gamers can eat all their favorite 7-Eleven foods and grab drinks from a Slurpee station. Perfect for gaming. This special is being offered for only 2 nights, February 26th and the 28th. More information is posted on the Airbnb website. I'm sure that has a lot of appeal to some people. Not me. Doug Heddy, the weather.
All right, it looks like a cold night for us tonight. With still some snow on the ground, we'll drop back right around 20 degrees. Sunshine finally returns for us tomorrow, 47, 56 on Friday. Rain rolls in Friday night into Saturday. Sunday looks pretty good. Right back into the 50s next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.
If you see